Real Madrid began their quest to wrestle the La Liga title from Barcelona yesterday, and it was a win against Espanyol away from home. As expected at the RCD Stadium, it was hostile, and Real Madrid gave a decent performance. At least we can expect better performances as the season goes. But then it was a good win. Goals from Jude Bellingham and Carlos SP secured the win, although it came in the 9 minutes of the game. But then we'll just have a look at the performances of the players yesterday. So we'll start from the from the goalkeeper. So Thibaut Courtois yesterday didn't have much to do. He couldn't have done anything about the goal. It was a good goal from Kala. Thibaut Courtois didn't face too many shots yesterday. He had two saves, and yeah, he considered one goal. But what I noticed yesterday was the fact that he was not confident enough on the ball. He was playing the ball high too many times when he had players around him that he could have passed to. So I'll give Thibaut Courtois 6.5 because he didn't really have much to do yesterday. So yeah, 6.5. So going to the right side of the defense was Denzel Dumfries. He was solid. Yeah, he had a good game, at least a good La Liga debut, and he went forward a lot, and that was what I loved about him yesterday. He went forward a lot. He was. We found him in some goal scoring positions as the game grew, and defensively he was okay. He wasn't superb defensively, but then he was okay. He had a decent game yesterday, and it is one of the things we need from our right back, someone who can go forward and then recover as at when needed. So yesterday he had out of six draws, he won five, and that is 83%. So that was a really good one. And then from four tackles, three were successful. He won three tackles. Grand duels from six, he won five. So yeah, it was a good game for him, and he was not dribbled past at all. He committed one foul. So it was a good game from Denzel Dumfries last night. And maybe he could have scored because he was in some goal scoring positions, but then it was a good game as a defender. I'll give Denzel Dumfries, I'll give him seven because yeah, he was solid. So I'll give him a seven. He did well. He played 80 minutes, so yeah. And then the art of the defense, we had Konate. Ibrahima Konate was really good. He was re- I mean he impressed me because when we signed him, I was not impressed about the signing, but what he showed yesterday, if he can keep this, if he can keep that sort of performance, the one he had yesterday, if he can keep it up, then it would be a brilliant signing because he commanded the defense yesterday. He was everywhere. He was everywhere. He was brilliant. Yeah, I give it to him. He was brilliant yesterday. So he played the whole game. Out of 11 draws, he won eight, and then out of six aerial draws, he won four. Grand draws, he won four out of five. He won two tackles out of three. So it was a really good game. He had five clearances, five recoveries. It was a really good game from Ibrahima Konate. If I am being fair, he really did very well. I'll give Ibrahima Konate 8.5. 8.5. Ibrahima Konate 8.5. And then Dane Oysen was good. It was especially with his feet. He passed the ball and he moved when he needed to move. He when he joined from Bournemouth, we envisaged how good he was because of what he did at Bournemouth. But then last season wasn't a good one for him. But the game against Espanyol was a good showing. If he can keep that up, it was a good showing, and hopefully he can improve, not just keep that kind of performance. We would love him to improve. It was a good game from him yesterday. So out of seven duels, he won four, and out of six aerial duels, he won three. Actually, his area is lacking in that area. As much as for the fact that he's a tall guy, he loses his area draws a lot. If not for Ibrahim Konate last night, maybe we would have considered more than one goal because there were some balls that he was always lost when the ball is crossed into the. He was always lost. So he needs to work on his area draws. He loses the ball a lot. Last season, most of the goals Real Madrid considered from corners or from crosses, he was always a culprit. He attacks the ball with his head down or with his eyes off the ball, which makes him lose the ball a lot. So I think he needs to work on that. His ground was out of one, he won one, so he was 100%. He had five clearances, one interception, and one recovery. So it was a good one for him. So I'll give him 7.5. he did well. At least he gave him a good shift. And then moving on to Alvaro Carreras. Alvaro Carreras played 64 minutes and it was solid. Although for the goal, I would say it was slightly at fault because he didn't check. He did not check properly. He did not check properly. If he had checked properly, Kala wouldn't be free the way he was. So because Kala was coming from his wing, he didn't check properly. If he and last season, most of the goals we considered from his wing, it was due to him not being aware of his surroundings. He doesn't really check his surroundings properly, and that was what happened yesterday. If he had checked properly, maybe, just maybe, he would have stopped Gala from getting the ball. But then, aside from that, it was a good showing from him. Out of 4 draws, he won four. Grand draws, he won four out of four, and he won 2 out of 2 tackles. So all of his tackles were 100%. It was a good one. It was a good showing, and he went forward when he needed to, and that was a good one. He had 1 clearance and 1 recovery. So yeah, I'll give him 7.5 because he played 64 minutes and he really did well while on the pitch. Moving on to the midfield, Valverde was just being Valverde. It was just being Valverde. It was not exceptional. It was just there. He did what was asked of him. He did what he needed to do in the middle of the park. He was there winning tackles, going for the ball. We know that Valverde is not a creative type, but needing the engine, someone who can chase opponents down, Valverde is there, and then he showed that he still has it in him. So yesterday he only had one key pass all through the game, and then he didn't have a single accurate pass into the box. Accurate passes in final third, he had 16 out of 17, and then he made one cross which was inaccurate. So I for one person can never rely on Valverde to do any playmaking. I can never rely on Valverde to do any playmaking. But we know his defensive part of the game is reliable. But attacking part, maybe if he's in a goal scoring position, yes. But playmaking, no. So he won 4 out of 7 draws. And then grand duels, he won 4 out of 7. Tackles one was 3/3. He won 3 tackles out of 3. So we know Valverde to be the tackle monster. He can go into tackles and he was dribbled past once. He committed one foul. He had one interception. So it was a decent game for Valverde. It was a decent one. And so I'll give him 7.5. It was a decent one from him last night. Moving on to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva actually did what I think or what I thought Jose Mourinho was going to make him do in the team. He was just keeping the ball. He was just dictating the play. He made us keep the ball more in the midfield and then allowing Adagula to do whatever he needed to do up front. So Bernardo Silva was just there to make the ball move around. So and let's look at his playmaking. Key passes, he had one key pass all through the game. Accurate passes into the box, it was just 1 out of 4. It wasn't a good one. Accurate passes in final third, he had 11 out of 12. Out of 2 crosses, none was successful. So that was not a good one, attacking wise. But in the progression, accurate passes, he had 52 out of 55. Yeah. Accurate passes into final third, he had 6 out of 6. Accurate long passes, 1 out of 2. And then he had 68 touches. Progressive carries was 8. Progressive passes, 5 out of 9. So that buttresses my point where I say Bernardo Silva is just there to keep the ball, to make us keep the ball more. Because I cannot think of having Chomeni and Valverde in that midfield. We'll just be running like headless chicken. So Bernardo Silva did what we expected him to do. He played 80 minutes, and yeah, it was just a good one. So I'll give him 7 out of 10 because it wasn't an exceptional game, but then he did what he needed to do. So I'll give him 7. Moving on to Adagule. Oh my word, Adagule was brilliant. He was brilliant. It showed why even Jose Mourinho had faith in him. He was just amazing all through the game until he was subbed off. He had a solid game. He had a solid game. He gave the assist for the Bellingham goal. That was the highlight of the game. And then in the attacking in the final third, he was just his playmaking skills were top notch. So he had a really good game, a really good game. So he had seven key passes, and then accurate passes into the box was 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 accurate passes in final third was 16 out of 17. You can imagine. And accurate crosses he had 5 out of 8, and then true passes 2. So he was the art of the midfield. He made most of the things that happened in the attacking line. He made them happen. He made them happen. So he had a really good game last night. A really good game. So I'll be giving Adegule a 9. He was solid. He only played 64 minutes. If you ask me, I would say he should have played a little longer. But then it is what it is. So I'll give him a 9. And Jude Bellingham was just Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham just gave us a showing of what we saw in his first season as a Madridista. He was everywhere last night. He was doing the tackles. He was pushing. He was progressing the ball. He was shooting. He scored the goal and he hit the crossbar once. So he was there. He was crashing the box, and that was what we needed. At some point, when Mbappe was not in the box, Jude Bellingham was there. He was crashing the box. So he was Jude Bellingham was just Jude Bellingham. He was just being brilliant. What we've known Jude Bellingham for, he showed everything last night, and it was a good showing. So Jude Bellingham got a goal. He got a goal yesterday, and then his total shots were 2. He had two. He had 2 shots. Shots inside the box. He had 2. Headed shots. He had 2. Touches in opposition box. 4. 4 touches in opposition box. Successful dribbles. 3 out of 5. So it was really good. And then to look at his playmaking, because he played the number 10 role. So let's look at his playmaking part of the game. He had 2 key passes and accurate passes into the box, 1 out of 2. Accurate passes into the final third, 12 out of 14. Accurate layups, 3 out of 3. So it was really good. And then the progression part of his game, accurate passes, 37 out of 39. Accurate passes into the final third, 5 out of 5. Accurate long passes, 6 out of 6. He had 60 touches, progressive carries, 7. Progressive passes, 4 out of 5. So it was really good. And then to cap it up in his defending, he won 7 out of 15 draws. He had 15, so he won 7. Area draws, he won 2 out of 3. Ground draws, 5 out of 12. Tackles won 1. So he was doing practically everything on the pitch last night. He was attacking, he was defending, he was everywhere. Jude Bellingham was brilliant last night. So I'll give Jude Bellingham 9.5. He played 80 minutes and then he really showed what he could do. So yeah, I'll give him 9.5. And then moving on to Vinicius Junior. So talking about Vinicius Junior, he just needs to get his head back into the game. We all know that La Liga oppositions are always there to taunt him and to hunt him down. But then he has to be strong mentally because he's been in the system for a while now. He should know their gimmicks already. Vinicius should know their gimmicks already. He just needs to be strong mentally to repel whatever it is they're throwing at him. He just needs to play football. Vinicius can play football. All he needs to do is just get his head in the game. We saw last night, very early in the game, he was kicked while on the floor. And then he kept on what we've been saying all this while. He's not protected enough by the referees, opposition fans booing him, bullying him. But then all we need from Vinicius is play football. You can play football. Yesterday he had at the start of the game, it wasn't the Vinicius we used to know about. From the 80th minute upward, he switched into another gear. It was just brilliant from the 80th minute. He was beating his men and he was creating chances. So it was a good game, but not a fantastic game, but it was a good game from Vinicius yesterday. The highlights of his game yesterday, he won 12 out of 16 duels. Successful dribbles, he had 3. But then he lost possession 9 times. That is not good enough because he was trying to overdo it. He lost possession 9 times. So let's look at his game. He had just 1 shot. Just 1 shot and no shot on target. Out of 7 dribbles, 3 were successful. Not good enough. He suffered 8 fouls. La Liga referees need to protect Vinicius more because they kept on kicking him without oppositions getting carded. We need La Liga referees to do better. We know the antics of the opponent. We know it. They just want Vinicius out of the game. He just needs to be protected more. So he was fouled 8 times, 8 times. So that is not a good one. And his playmaking was not really good. Accurate passes into the box was 2 out of 4. Accurate passes into the final third was 6 out of 10. He only had one accurate layups. So it wasn't a, really a good one. But one thing I noticed about Vinicius' game last night was that he defended more. He defended better. He defended better. I saw in the early part of the game, I think it was in the fourth or fifth minute when Jubilan was telling him to press, to press. That was the only time I saw Vinicius relaxed. Other times he was helping out in the defense. And that was why he won 12 out of 16 goals. So he really did well defensively last night, and we will be needing him to do more of that going forward. So what he did yesterday, I'll give him 7.5. He created some chances, but that is not the initial standard we would be looking forward to seeing. And then to Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe could have killed the game for us last night. He had chances that he should have taken, and then we would have won the game a long time. But he kept missing chances, and that is not good enough. I understand the fact that the season is just starting, but he has to work more on his finishing. Nobody's going to teach Kylian Mbappe how to finish. Yeah, it is obvious that he's won the Pichichi back to back, and he's the highest goal scorer in the FIFA World Cup. So nobody's going to teach Kylian Mbappe how to score or how to shoot, but he just needs to stop missing chances, because the result last night would have been different had we not gotten that dying minute goal, that late minute goal. So he missed two big chances, and one headed shot, touches in the opposition box, 10. As much as he had 10 touches in the opposition box, I just feel like what we've been clamoring for, he needs to be in the box more. Yeah, not all the time, but then he just needs to do it more, because there were some instances where our wingers were crossing the ball into the box, but he was not there. It was mostly by outside the box, waiting for the ball in order to shoot. We know he loves doing that, but sometimes he just needs to be in the box more, a little more, because if not for the fact that SP was where he needed to be last night, the result would have been different. So he just needs to be in the box more. And yeah. So last night, I would just say for his performances last night, I'll give him 7.5. It was okay. He created chances. He shot the ball more, but he just needs to get his current boots back on. And then to the substitutes, Kukureya. Kukureya didn't. He came. He only played 26 minutes. He came on. It was just a decent debut for him, because he didn't have much to do. Because when he came on, Real Madrid were all over Espanyol. We were just attacking, and then he showed up himself in the attacking third. And when he needed to defend, he defended. So it was a decent game for him. At least he won 2 draws out of 2. He won all his draws when he came on, all of his draws. So yeah, it was a good one because he was attacking more. So he played 26 minutes. So we just give him a 7 because he didn't have much to do. And then Diomande had a decent game. It was nothing to really talk about, but it was just there. Although when he came on, it showed us why we needed proper wingers, because it was taking defenders on. It was trying to make things happen on the wing, and it was one of his runs, one of his crosses into the box that led to the winning goal. So he had a good one. Out of 3 attempted dribbles, one was successful. But then he only played 26 minutes, and then he had 4 touches in the opposition box. So his accurate passes into the box were 2 out of 2. Accurate passes into the final third, 5 out of 5. Accurate crosses, 1 out of 3. So Yan Diomande cannot be judged with this game. We all know that going forward, we will see more from him and more of Yan Diomande. So with what he showed yesterday, So I'll give him 6.5. He didn't really do much, but it was a good debut for him. So now, Carlos SP, he played 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and he got the winning goal. We call Carlos SP the Yoselu Junior because he's the proper number 9 profile that we need in the team. Last season, we had Gonzalo Gaja, but he was not trusted enough. But Carlos SP is showing that he can be trusted. In the preseason, he scored 2 goals, proper number 9 goals. And now he's shown that what happened in the preseason was not a fluke because he was at the right place at the right time, and that was how he was able to get the goal. Why Carlos SP was there to trouble the defense, and then he was lucky enough to get that goal because if he was not there, who knows what might have happened. But then he was lucky to get the goal, and we are happy that because of him, we got 3 points in the bag, and yeah, we started our season with a win. So, and that is the most important thing. So he played 10 minutes, but then we'll give him 7.5 because he didn't have much to do, but he got the winning goal. But 7.5 would be enough for his few minutes. And then Jose Mourinho, he managed the game very well. He managed the game very well. The subs, although I was feeling like Adair Goulet and Jude could have stayed a little longer, but it was a good sub. The substitutions led to the goal. So overall, we gave Jose Mourinho 8.5 for how he managed the game. So yeah, we're looking forward to our next game against Real Sociedad. It will be a difficult one, but then the most important thing is that it will be played at the Santiago Bernabéu. But we'll come back home. So yeah, Madridistas, who was your favorite player last night? Who wowed you the most? Who impressed you the most? Who are you looking forward to seeing in the team more? Kindly drop your comments and don't forget to like, share, and follow. Thank you.